All right. Hello, welcome to MultiPlay. This is the podcast, the new version. It's MultiPlay 2.0, I guess you would say. Hey, Luke.
Yeah, I think at least 1.5.
1.5, yeah, it's in beta. So this is cool because we haven't actually caught up in person even for so long, and it's just looking at you now. I'm like, man, you're such a beautiful human being. I wish we were in person right now.
Stop it.
It's
been a long time, man. COVID.
It
It put a bit of a break on everything, didn't it?
So just to bring everyone up to speed, we started doing a podcast a little while ago. And then life got in the way. Two things in life. COVID happened, and that sort of put a kibosh on pretty much everything because we were recording in the radio station studios that I work at.
Yeah.
And the other thing that happened is we both became dads.
You are double dad.
I double dad.
I'm single dad.
Yeah. And well, you're not a single dad.
No, I'm not. It sounds terrible when you say it like that. It doesn't sound terrible.
Don't put it like that. Poor Jazz.
I'm dad of one child. You are dad of two children.
Yeah. And that really does. And before I would have thought, nah, no way. But it really does put the brakes on a lot of things that you do personally, like play video games and watch movies and things like that. And
yeah, man. I remember you saying to me, a long time ago, make sure you get a Switch. You're going to need a Switch.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. When my first was born, I was just like, because you're up so late all the time. You're up all night and you're just cradling them. And the Switch kind of just fits perfectly. You've got the baby here and the Switch here.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's that period where they just want to sleep on you, right?
Oh, yeah, and sleep on you.
Perfect.
Man, I swear.
Apart from your phone, it's the only gaming experience you can have at that period, isn't it?
The Witcher version on Switch saved my life.
I've been so tempted so many times to get one, and they keep like coming on special every year, 6 or 12 months. And then I'm like, I do love the kind of handheld gaming thing. The last one I had was a Vita and stuff, and I loved my Vita, but
yeah,
it gets to the point where like, I'm not that into Nintendo games.
Yeah. So and I think
that's the only thing that holds me back.
Yeah. I think I can agree with you there. Like at the moment, I'm a bit disenfranchised with my Nintendo Switch. When I first got it, and no disrespect to the system, when I first got it, I loved it so much. And I played it to death. And I played Mario Kart, and I played Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I played Mario Odyssey and all those.
Mm-hmm.
But then suddenly the new games dried up. And then all they started doing was just releasing old shit. And it was like, oh my God, this is just like Witcher, that came along, and I was like, this is great because I hadn't played Witcher all the way through before. And so it gave me a good opportunity to really get into that. But everything else is just, and I love these old games, but I loved these old games.
Yeah, man.
And when I go back and play them now, it's just like,
yeah, there's a point to where like, and it's not just Nintendo that's guilty of this, with everyone at the moment, where, nostalgia is the thing, right?
Yeah.
I jump on Battle.net this week, and everyone I know is playing Diablo 2. It's like it's 1999 again.
I know, right? But it is a remake, though. So it's like,
it is.
They're not just chucking a new lick of paint on it. It is actually
But it's the same game, warts and all,
yeah.
All the things that were wrong with it are still wrong with it.
I did see like there's a few more character classes. Is that right on it?
I haven't played it, to be honest with you, but I watched a streamer, I think not last night, the night before or something. I was just watching someone play it online, and it did take me back, and I was like, maybe I'll have to give it a little go, because
it's clearly the best of the Diablo games. Like if you're going to remake one, that's the one. 3 was great, but 2 was just so cool.
Well, there's no need to remake 3. 3 is so,
it's fairly modern.
Great. Yeah, it still looks fantastic.
In fact, that's if you get one game on your Nintendo Switch when you finally get it, that's a good one to get. It's really good on Switch.
Well, look, I played it on PC, and then I ended up getting it on PS4, and it's, I'm always pretty much a kind of PC first kind of guy.
Mm.
And playing it on PS4, it was the first time where I've been like, this is way better on console.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those ones, what they did with the dash and the movement, it just
which is funny because
so
I can remember back in the day when I was working in a video game store and they released Diablo on, I think it was PlayStation at the time. And it was terrible. Like the console version of that game was woeful compared to the PC version.
Well, I think I read that the number 2 is the only one that hasn't been on console at this point. Now it has, obviously, with this remaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 1 was, they skipped number 2 because number 1 was a bit of a fail. And then and even 3 was quite a few years later until they bring it over to Xbox and PlayStation.
I tell you, Blizzard did a collaboration with some artists, some cosplayers, and the name escapes me right now. But Steam Kittens were involved with as well. You know, my mate Steam Kittens, who just wearing the shirt here.
Represent.
He was involved with filming it as well, but they made one of the characters from Diablo as a cosplay, and oh my god, it is just ridiculous. It is insane.
He's doing quite well with his photography cosplay stuff. Hey?
Oh man, his stuff is amazing. Like I often just look on the stuff he's doing artistically. I'm just in awe of what he does. He is just a genius.
Yeah, I follow his Facebook page, and there's always great stuff on there.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool.
I would hope with there's probably, you know, the number of conventions has definitely reduced over the last 18 months. So hopefully that kind of picks up again soon.
Yeah. So they teamed with I'm just checking it now, the Hench and Scrap Foundry, teamed with Steam Kittens, and they did the cosplay for Tyrell.
Oh yeah, Tyrell.
Yeah. Looks amazing. Looks insane. We'll chuck it up online so you can check it out if you want.
Yeah, cool.
I want to hear about your PC. You've been building a PC.
Yeah, I did. So
you're Henry Cavilling this stuff.
Henry Cavilling, yeah. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while because it's been a bit of a gap between upgrades, and so I started looking into it maybe 12 months or 18, no, probably 12 months ago. It was before the craziness of the, you know, PC part in demand and inflation and you know, all that kind of stuff. So
it's
been crazy. And so I kind of held off for a long time because of that. So I've just been waiting for the prices to kind of come back to normal. And they have on pretty much everything apart from GPUs. So finally pulled the trigger and built a new rig. And
so what's in it?
It's going so good. So I got a AMD 5600X. Got some nice quick RAM in it, 3600. I've got 1 terabyte of NVMe storage. So just kind of a decent motherboard, just kind of enough to put it all together, and then bought a nice looking case. I'd always cheap on the case in the past.
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually should send you a picture of mine here. I got okay components when I put it together, but the case is cheap. It's no RGB.
Yeah, and that's what I've always done. I've always just gone, you know, spend all the money on the parts and cheap out on the case. And this one I went kind of like a bit better case with awesome airflow, big glass panel, can pull it all apart to cable manage the heck out of it so it looks all schmick. Yeah. So it's the first time I've ever had RGB. I'm not a big RGB guy.
Yeah. My cable management's atrocious as well. That's why I like to hide it inside the case.
Well, that's the thing, right? This case, you can pull it all apart and just hide it all behind. So you can't see anything. It's just
nice.
Looks perfect.
So your RGB is good?
Yeah, man. I only got RGB on the RAM. So just enough to make it look a bit nice, you know?
Yeah. Just a bit fancy. Yeah, what are you playing on it? Let's get to that. What are you playing?
Kick into it. Yeah, definitely. So at the moment, like I said to you, you know, with the whole kid thing, it's obviously been a bit harder to get on the PC and game lately, but I've just actually resubbed last month to Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, man, I freaking love Game Pass.
I let it lapse, and it is such a good deal, man. I forgot how good of a deal it was.
Yeah, full disclosure, Xbox pay us nothing to talk about this. It is just that good a deal. Like,
it's unreal. And if you don't have it, to pay $1 and get Ultimate for 3 months or whatever just to try it. Like, if you don't continue on after 3 months for $1, you're crazy.
So it's so good, even on console at the moment. It's got EA Play as well.
And it's on PC too. So I haven't looked it up, but someone mentioned to me that, because I always buy every Battlefield game, right? So I'm hanging out for Battlefield to come out in November. And someone said to me, oh, well, you don't need it. It'll be on Game Pass under EA Play. And I was like,
it might not be, no, because EA Play is like the
older
light.
Stuff, is it?
It's the light version. And if you get EA Play Pro or whatever it is on Origin, it's Origin, right?
Yeah, Origin on PC,
Yeah. So if you get the Pro version, that's when you get the new stuff.
Right. So I thought that would be too good of a deal, man. I was like, that is unreal. But...
So even like the sports games, like FIFA 21, I'm playing at the moment, but FIFA 22 will come out. That won't go to Game Pass. That'll go to Pro, and you buy it, and you get a discount if you've got Game Pass.
Right.
But, okay. I don't think that's going to come straight to Game Pass though.
Yeah, I'll probably still end up buying that then. But at the moment, man, like I resubbed to it, and there's a couple of games that mainly I resubbed because I'm waiting for Age of Empires 4 and Halo.
Yeah.
But for now, I've just been playing Hades. Have you played Hades?
Oh yeah, man! What a surprise game that is.
So good.
So I checked it out. I think a lot of the gaming websites and that gave it 10 out of 10. And I
remember last year it was like Game of the Year from a few places. And it's been on my radar, but I just never picked it up. It's probably nothing against it, but it's probably not something I'd go and buy. But then on Game Pass, you're like, why not? I'll just install it. Yeah. And it's like stellar. Like,
I tell you what, I don't think it's 10 out of 10, and I don't think it's Game of the Year, but it's fun.
Look, it's definitely fun. And look, maybe it's not Game of the Year, but it's just, it does what it does well. It doesn't try to, it doesn't try to do everything, but it's just super fun. Even when you die, you go back, you're like, all right, cool. I'll get another weapon. I'll try this. And, you feel like you're making progress. It's like, I'm not a big roguelike kind of guy.
Yeah.
But it seems like, when you do die and you go back to the start, you've felt like you've made progress.
Yeah.
And you're always kind of chipping away and getting better and learning new moves and that kind of stuff and trying out new stuff. I think that look, I'm not super far into it, maybe a couple of hours or something, but it's super fun. Super fun.
Yeah.
Looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but apart from that, I've been playing that and Humankind.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that's
when did that come out? That came out like a few years ago.
Maybe no, it's only recent, a few weeks back. So it's made by the studio that make Avalanche, or I think the name's Avalanche, or they make the Endless Space and Endless Legend games. So they make all those kind of like 4X, similar to Civilization kind of games.
Right. I'm thinking of something else. Yes, I know.
So I played a lot of Civilization, so I thought, I'll give it a go. It's quite different. It's they've definitely taken that whole thing and tweaked it a little bit. There's kind of cool things where, like, in Civilization, if you choose the Americans or the English, you play them the whole time, right?
Dude, it's published by Sega.
Yeah.
Insane.
But who's the dev? Is it Avalanche?
Yeah, I think so. Amplitude.
Avalanche.
Yeah.
But and it's just a bit of a twist on the kind of whole, Civilization management thing. It's super nerdy, all the stats and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like very early into it at the moment. But I can see that you could fall into it pretty deep. I got a mate onto it, and he's kind of fallen down the rabbit hole and played quite a bit more than me now already. So, but it's good fun. You can kind of start as a civilization, and then as you go through the ages, when you hit the kind of ancient age, you can choose to be like Egyptian or Sumerian and that kind of stuff. And then when you hit another age, you can choose to be like American or English, or as you come into the ages, your civilizations change that you can choose. So you don't have to just stick with English the whole game. You can kind of change it along the way.
Where does it start and where does it end?
So I haven't got to the end yet, but I'm assuming that it goes to kind of like near future. But it starts in like Neolithic nomadic tribes.
Yeah.
You've got no city. You're just moving around, killing elephants and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you kind of settle down and build your city, and then it's all about micromanaging that city. And
sorry, I'm laughing at your very gangster. We're killing elephants and stuff.
Yeah, man. Elephants are the good stuff. It's mostly deers for me.
So good.
But yeah, so apart from that,
those sorts of games take all your time. That's the thing.
Take a bit of time.
Those. Yeah.
And then whenever I've got they're very, solo games now. I haven't really been playing a lot of multiplayer like I used to. But one thing whenever I have people over now, I pull out the Quest, man. We haven't even had a chance to talk about the Quest since we've.
Dude, I really wanted to. Yeah, actually, that's something I really wanted to bring up because I think when I got my Quest 2, of course, if you don't know what that is, it's the Oculus Quest 2 from Facebook, the VR machine, which they've just released a new version of, which has got a bigger hard drive in it.
Yeah.
I think I played it.
Comfortable face.
Yeah.
Cushion.
I played it hardcore for a while, and then sort of it just died off for a bit. But recently, I jumped back on. I'm back in. I'm back in. I'm playing Half-Life Alyx.
Oh, dude, it's unreal.
Which is the most immersive game I've ever played. Like, you're talking about game of the year. That is game of the century.
Decade. Yeah, man. It's unreal. Yeah. It's unreal. So, you're going to have to stop me because I could talk about that game for, literally the whole podcast. But it's just, you are there. It is, it's the one game that I've had mates over and been like, dude, check this out.
Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah, it shows it off.
It shows it off amazingly. Yeah. And, one thing that I did when I upgraded the new rig was I bought a new Wi-Fi 6 router.
Yeah.
Now I've moved the cars out of the garage.
Yeah.
I make the garage the whole play area so I can walk around and not have to worry about banging into things like in this tiny room.
Dude, we moved house and we've got more room now. And so we've got a kids play area, and when they go to bed, that's my VR room now, and it's so good. Being able to actually walk from one side of the room to the other makes
having a bit of room. It's just it helps with that immersion so much, and you don't need a bloody warehouse or whatever. But like I said, just my garage is enough, and you can walk around, interact with things, not worry about hitting a wall. And
so are you still using virtual desktop, or have you moved on to the
no? Look, I tried both, and something about virtual desktop, I just like it. It just seems a little bit crisper.
That's so funny because I've gone the other way.
Yeah,
because with the upgrade,
with the AirLink or whatever.
With the firmware upgrade, you got that new AirLink, and that is for me, in my setup here, feels so much more stable and faster to
as long as you're getting that decent frame rate, and if your PC can push out the frames, which yours can and mine can, then as long as you got a decent connection there, dude, it is a mind-blowing game. I can just wander around and do nothing, and just search through trash and
and you pick up cans and throw them, it's just
and just throwing stuff in your backpack, and then
it sounds so dumb when you say it like that, but when you're actually in there and you're VRing out, man, it's insane. So I played that. I played Vader.
VR game that I've ever played. Yeah,
Vader's fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm just on episode 2 of that. And of course you and I play. We did play. We've got to play again soon. Star Trek Bridge Crew, which was so much fun.
Yes. So I just actually played that the other night with a mate, because he's just got it. So I'm walking through it, and it reminded me, man, about how when we had that crew that night, and it was it's essentially the way I said it to my mate when I got it for him for his birthday. I was like, because I played D&D with him. I was like, dude, it's essentially role playing, but Star Trek in a VR headset. Because you fall into that role so quickly about, what do I do next, Captain? All right, Ensign, do this, and put the shields up and do this. And it's you're role playing Star Trek in VR. It's just so cool.
Because that night we were playing and it made me a Vulcan. And I was like, oh man. So I just started acting like a Vulcan.
Exactly.
And it was
you
like,
start doing all
so
the lingo and you're like, you're doing all the references.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun, man.
And I do love that it's like, it's classic Star Trek. Like it's TV show Star Trek as opposed to current movie Star Trek. So it's got that pacing of the classic series as opposed to, full on.
Yeah. It's not crazy action. It's, like, the first few minutes or first while of every mission is just rocking up and scanning stuff, really, like scanning anomalies,
which like
checking stuff out.
If this was a game just on your console, would be kind of like boring. But because it's in VR, it's just so great. Have you watched any movies in VR?
As in like proper VR movies?
No, as in but also going and sitting in a cinema in VR and watching a whole movie.
I haven't watched a whole movie, no, but I've watched like short trailers and stuff, on that big screen in there and stuff. You can sit in and like, you got tomatoes to throw and popcorn and all this kind of stuff. It's just weird when you look over and someone's sitting next to you looking at you.
Yeah. So I sat there like one night, I was fully intended just to go in and test it. I was like, I'm just going to go watch this. And I ended up started watching the latest Kevin Smith movie, the Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh yeah, reboot.
Reboot. And I started watching that and I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and watch a little bit of this in VR. And next thing I know, the movie's over. And I've watched the whole thing in VR. My head is sweating like a bastard.
I was going to say, look, I don't know if it's the greatest way to watch a movie, but I think it's cool. It's a cool gimmick. And, even like, look, we've come in at Gen, 1.8. You wait. I keep telling, all our friends, like all our kids, that's just going to be, school is going to be in the headset, man.
Yeah,
it's going to be, all right, we're going to Paris for French today, and you'll be sitting in a cafe, learning French in Paris, and it'll be full on lifelike.
One of the best experiences I had was actually in the I don't know if you've done it, the Chernobyl experience, where you are walking through Chernobyl, and you've got this guy who just pops up every now and again and explains the scene to you and what happened here, and tells the story of the destruction and everything around there. It is insane. It is so good, and you learn so much. Like, it is so educational.
I took my headset because I take it everywhere now. Like, it's a perfect size, right? It fits in your backpack pretty well.
Yeah.
So I took it down to Sydney when I went down to Sydney in June to see my grandparents, and so they hadn't been going out a lot. Obviously, COVID. They're in their late 80s, and so my pop has always wanted to go to the Vatican, always, his whole life. So I was like, "Sweet pop, let's do a Vatican tour in VR." And he was like, blown away. Like, did the Vatican tour, and then I was like, "Oh, what do you want to do next? Do you want to?" There's one that's a tour of Everest. Do you want to do an Everest climb? He's like, "Yeah, definitely." I put this thing on him, man, and I think the Everest video goes for maybe 15 minutes or something, right? But he's getting on. So I said, "Oh, you had enough, pop." No, leave me in. I couldn't get the thing off him. He was just loving it.
It's so great, isn't it? I just love that. And showing someone else VR for the first time feels amazing. Like it's really
it's
powerful
unreal
experience.
And they get it, man, straight away.
Yeah.
Because someone, like I know my folks, for example, they don't get it. But then when I brought them around and I mapped out the garage and I was like, "Here, try this," they're like, "Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Now I get it." And they haven't even played the game. They only played the intro games, like the little Oculus intro games.
Yeah.
Mum's playing with the robot. And
the one I tend to show everyone is the plank.
Oh yeah, you don't just like to scare the shit out of people.
I love that. It's so good.
I put my dad in that. He got to the top, the doors open, he goes, "Nap."
I love getting people to the top, and then you film them with your phone while they're doing it, and their legs are shaking, and they're like just sort of edging forward.
But this is the thing, right? we're at, you know, we're at like Half-Life 1 or Halo 1 in graphics, right? And we're going, this is amazing. You know, this is so lifelike. It makes your knees wobble. You imagine 10 years or 20 years from today, what the Oculus Quest 8 is going to be like.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be full on lifelike.
Yeah. A good example of that actually is just added to Game Pass, I think, is Quake, the original Quake.
Yeah.
And I was playing it the other night. I chucked it on. I was like, oh, man, I used to look at this and think, my God, how realistic does this look?
Because I did the exact same thing, you know, you and me quite alike. I was like, saw it. I was like, definitely installing that. I did 1, 2, and 3, installed all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I was playing through 1, and definitely it's aged, right? You know, when you're shooting bullets at someone, they're little cubes.
They're little triangles and
little triangles. And so I was like, you know, it's definitely aged, but they've remastered it and it's upscaled and it looks, dude, I played that for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
It's still so much fun.
Yeah, it's so quick too. I forgot how quick it was.
It's just such a well-made game, you know, like anything, you know, even if it's aged and it's 25 years old, if it's a good game, it's still fun to play, right?
Yeah.
And just
that's not a cue to you, Nintendo, to start putting old shit on your console, all right?
Yeah. But still great fun. But the only thing I was disappointed on, not remaster, but give a little bit of love to number 3, man. Get me back on that. That multiplayer on number 3 was like,
it was the best multiplayer experience, I reckon. But I think that was more the time of LAN parties, and that is what made that such a great experience. That game and probably Counter-Strike contributed a huge factor to my grades not being great in high school. Yeah, probably. But how many of the secrets did you remember? I was surprised by how many times I'd be like, oh yeah, shoot that wall, it opens up, I can get through to this section.
Yeah, see, for me, I didn't play a lot of Quake 1. So Quake 1 was a little bit before my time. So I played Quake 2 and Quake 3 a lot.
Yeah, I'm the old fart here. So
yeah. So I hadn't like played it through, you know, I might have played it once at a friend's house or something, but you know, it's not like you know, when I play Wolfenstein or something, you know, those secrets are burned in my brain. Same with the Doom 1 and Doom 2. They're like, I played those so much.
Oh, so much. One thing I want to talk about while I got you is obviously, did you get a chance to play, and this is how long it's been since we've seen each other, did you get a chance to play Cyberpunk?
No, I haven't played it. So it all came out and there was the cluster, you know what, happened when it all came out. And I remember you played it.
Yeah, and I love it. Like, I do love it.
Yeah.
But
I had a mate at work who said the same thing. He played it on PC and said it was really good. But just with all the rigmarole around it, and then at that point, I had my older PC. So I was like, I'm not going to buy this game, which, you know, when it comes out, it's still, you know, 80 or 90 bucks. I'm going to buy this game for 80 or 90 bucks, play it on low settings because it's such a behemoth. And it's not in a state that is amazing. It was still fine. And a lot of people said that on PC it was pretty good. Oh, I wouldn't have played
apparently
it
ran quite well on PC. I ran it on PlayStation 5.
Oh, okay.
Which in like after the fact is obviously the worst way to play it. It ran okay on Xbox.
It could have been worse. You could have played it on PS4.
Yeah, true. But the problem is that you'd be playing the game, it'd crash.
Yeah.
Like I can deal with bugs in the game, I can deal with all that stuff, but the constant crashing completely out of the game was just it's rookie stuff.
Yeah.
That's not,
and it's just like they keep, you know, certain developers. I'm looking at you. Is it Hello Games that made No Man's Sky?
Yeah.
Certain developers can release a game and not launch well.
Yeah.
But you can redeem it. You know, you can slowly redeem it over and be like, cool, we realize we made a mistake. We're going to do this, 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 and this. And if you do what you say and you stick to what you promise, people will forgive you. You know, people love No Man's Sky now.
Oh, dude, it is beautiful now. It is one of the great games now.
For a comeback story, what a story, right?
Yeah, that's 4-0 down at halftime and winning 8-0.
And coming back. 100%.
That's like,
100%. Yeah. And, you know.
8-0, 8-4. That makes no sense. How's your maths, Doc? Fucking moron.
And CD Projekt Red, man, they had the opportunity to do it. They could have just gone, yep, sorry, we stuffed up. We're going to make it better. You know, they promised all that DLC. I don't think any of the DLCs come out yet. They haven't even released the proper PS5 version yet.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing that's annoying me right now is I want to play the best possible version on this console. And it's like
why release
yeah
PS4 version that works on PS5? So the people who have gone and spent $800 on a brand new console that want to be playing the cutting edge stuff, probably bought a TV to go with it because it's freaking high refresh rate. And then you give them a PS4 port that's shit on PS4 and it's a little bit better on PS5.
And I mean, it does look nice. Like there's no doubt. It looks very nice, but it doesn't look as nice as it should. And it doesn't run as well as
buggy,
it should.
like you said, right? Yeah. Like crashing and stuff. Like those open world games are always going to be buggy.
Yeah.
You know, every Bethesda game since
look
the
at The
dawn
Witcher
of time
3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know? Those kind of games are always going to be buggy, but it's just about, you know, not game-breaking bugs. Everyone's fine with little bugs.
Yeah.
You know, car flies in the air, falls through the floor. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
cool.
clipping, stuff like that. It's
like crash to desktop or crash to menus.
Yeah, that's bullshit, hey. Yeah. But you know, the thing is when I've put it away now. I completed it and I've put it away. And because I desperately wanted to go back and play it again, because I do like the game itself is amazing. Like it's a really good role-playing game. It takes me back to when I used to play the tabletop role-playing game Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's right. You played the RPG.
Yeah, which I friggin' loved. It was probably one of my favorites next to D&D itself.
Mm-hmm.
But so I put it away now until that full patch comes out because I don't want to play it half-assed again. But I just don't know when it's going to come. Like they just... Yeah, who knows? What have actually played?
And I think I'll definitely play it once that comes out and there's some DLC and they're like, you know, hey, it's 2.0, let's go. Look, you know, I'll grab it on sale. I'm not a full price guy anymore, but I'll get it on Game Pass.
So what I'm actually playing at the moment, and this is actually probably a larger conversation as well. It's been around nearly a year since the new consoles came out. The PlayStation 5
next month after.
Yeah, so November I think they came. So PS5, Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series S. And there hasn't been a lot of next gen games to go with them. Like everything that's come out over the last year has been for both. It's been like we're talking about with Cyberpunk for PS4 and PS5. There's nothing that's really come out that is like.
Did you play Ratchet
and Clank?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was never a Ratchet guy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I just know that a lot of because that was I think only PS5.
Yeah.
And so I think that like I said, I haven't got a PS5, but a lot of people I heard were saying good things about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm not a Ratchet and Clank guy either.
Yeah. And I saw it being played and I thought it looks beautiful. Looks really great. And that's awesome. But there's one game.
Yeah, that Returnal, which doesn't look like my cup of tea either, because it's like a bit more, I think it's like a roguelike kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. You can have a console. Yeah, you can have a console that's been out for a year and have, you know, 2 games that
are exclusively on that device.
Nuts.
It seems really bizarre. But what it has made me do is go back and play a game that I desperately wanted to finish. And I got a little bit into it. And I think at the time I was reviewing something every other week. And so I ended up putting it on the back burner and I never got back to it. So I'm actually playing my way through Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Which, have you played that one?
So I played Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and then a mate of mine who was living with me at the time bought Arkham Knight,
Origins.
And like he just got so into that and fell down that rabbit hole and just played it nonstop for like a week and then left it with me. So I've got it and was like, dude, you got to play this. It's amazing. And then I never got to it. It was
it's on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass.
Okay.
It's well worth downloading. The use of the Batmobile in it is insane.
I was about to say, cruising around that Bat tank.
Oh, it's so good. Like, and just like you get caught doing Riddler missions and just it's still one of the best incarnations of the Riddler I've ever seen in those games. He's really dark and how the Riddler should be. I always imagine the Riddler more like Jigsaw.
Well, that's seems like exactly what that new movie's leaning into.
Yeah,
right?
the new Batman movie.
Serial killer Riddler.
Yeah, but setting up traps to get out of that could rip your head off, as opposed to comical rubbish.
Look, Rocksteady, man, those games were like so good, and every one, like I said, I haven't played Arkham Knight, but the first two, especially, like number one was great. Number two just made it bigger, better.
Yeah,
every kind of one they improved. And then now what are they doing? They're doing a Suicide Squad game.
Suicide Squad and a Gotham Knights game.
Right.
So Nightwing and Robin and Batgirl and Red Hood.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which I'm really looking forward to that, because Nightwing is probably one of my favorite characters ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Suicide Squad should be good too. That looks really cool.
Yeah, Suicide Squad are the flavor of the month at the moment, so you want to get it out soon.
How funny, considering like after that first movie, everyone was ready just to wipe them out. Yeah.
What a comeback story there as well. That's the movie comeback story. That's the No Man's Sky of movies.
It really is. I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
Yeah. I watched it. I was all like, James Gunn is, he's a master. So I think
that's the difference between one kid and two kids.
Yeah, more movie time. Yeah, dude, it's great. And look, it's in the trailer, but just seeing a real life version of Starro is freaking hilarious. Like, that's so funny.
Good. Well, that takes us on to what are you watching? This is the second half of what we're talking about. Suicide Squad, obviously great. Seeing Starro on the screen would have just been just ridiculous.
Oh, dude, it's just something that you and I have both watched the animated stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
And
and read the
a lot of that
comics
stuff doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Read the comics first, and so a lot of it doesn't translate, or probably doesn't easily translate to live action. And
yeah, like when Guardians of the Galaxy brought in Ego, the Living Planet, and it just wasn't right.
Yeah, well, it's hard to do a live planet.
Yeah.
Stuff to do in real life.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, they managed to ground it really well with like kind of, science experiment on this alien and da-da-da-da-da. Like it's very well done, and treat it serious, but have it also be funny. It's really good, man. And like the characters are great. I think that it's a very good premise to have cool. Everyone's expendable. Anyone can die at any point, and they set that up from like minute one. Cool. Here's what we're doing. Anyone can go. No
spoilers, by the way.
No. Yeah. Wouldn't do it. But no, it was really good. Yeah, I liked it. Look, whether or not he comes back for another one, apparently, I heard Warner Brothers are trying to get him to do another movie, another DC movie. So after Guardians, I'd love to see
him tackle one of the Trinity.
Yeah, I think
Superman would be amazing in his hands.
Yeah, I think you're right too. And look, I think that after Zach's gone now, I don't think they really know what to do with Superman. Look, you're the Superman guy, you know better than me. But
oh man,
I think that
the thing I like about what he does is he takes these characters and he puts them in their original costumes and their original settings, but still gives them this grounded sort of
modernizes them, grounds them, but also is really loyal to the essence of those characters, right?
Yeah, which not a lot of them can get away with. Like, you
can go too far into, it's a balancing act, right? You can go too far in modernizing, and then you can go too traditional.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So he's just balances it so well. Like, I'm looking forward to the new Batman movie. I think that'll be really
cool. Look, I've only watched those first two trailers, and I've seen enough now. I don't want to see any more. But like we said with the Riddler thing, right? Like going that kind of super dark serial killer kind of angle is awesome. Penguin looks as good as Danny DeVito.
Yeah. And did you hear that the news this week is that they're going to create a Penguin prequel series on HBO Max?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, they're really doing that, aren't they? With the whole Peacemaker thing as well for Suicide Squad, and now a Penguin series.
Yeah,
and apparently they're remaking. They're not remaking, but they're making a Supergirl show on HBO.
Yeah, Batgirl.
Supergirl is in development apparently at HBO.
I know Batgirl is.
I'm sure I read Supergirl. Fact check that for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Like, oh my god.
Because I know you love the Supergirl show, so
I do love that Supergirl show. Like, and well, no, I don't love it. I like it. What I do like is
it's got super in the name, so you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's true. And I do love Superman and Lois is my guilty pleasure.
I've only watched like the first 3 or 4.
Oh, but, dude, that first episode,
great.
Oh, great. Like a movie. It was like, this is what the Superman movie should be like.
Yeah, and at first I was like, oh man, like kids. Why bringing kids into it? And then I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, no, look, it works. It does work.
I'll tell you, I'm watching at the moment, and you'll appreciate this. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Why the Last Man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I haven't watched episode 4, but I've watched the first 4 and not 5. I think they came out yesterday.
I watched the first 2, and because I just love the comics,
dude.
I think they're.
I'm so glad you mentioned this. This was in my head to mention. I completely blanked on it.
I think those comics are hands down. Like, and I'm a massive Superman fan, massive, and I'll probably put that above every comic, including Why the Last Man. But it's the best comic I've ever read. Why the Last Man.
Yeah, man. It's like so it was the first one that kind of really got me into non-superhero comics.
Yeah, right. Yep. Too. Yep. Because that, The Walking Dead. To some extent, and maybe
so I came onto Walking Dead well late when everyone was kind of already reading it. But why still had started, but it was maybe a trade or 2 in when I'd kind of kicked off reading that, and it is just like the quality of the writing, the art is great. It's just, and it was such a kind of serious, like we said before, grounded story about like, okay, what if this actually happened? What would things be like?
That's the thing. It's just so beautifully unique. Like, it's not like there's so many post-apocalyptic movies that you just like, okay, I know exactly what's going to happen. I know what's going on here. But this one is like, okay, everything with a Y chromosome dies.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What does that look like? That's different.
And it's, Brian K. Vaughan, he's such a good writer. And still that was, 20 years ago. But that show has been like, the comic started 20 years ago. I think it's been in like development for like 10 years as a TV show.
Yeah. Like, I think it's swapped hands so many times. Finally made it out.
A glimmer of hope will happen where someone will pick it up and then it'll fall away. And then the fact that we're actually getting to watch it now is like, man, it still blows my mind.
So I'm interested to hear what you think of it, like in comparison to the comics.
Yeah, look, it's hard to compare. So I started reading the comics again before the show came out. So I just finished the second deluxe because I wanted to kind of get well ahead of where the show is, because it's been probably 5 years since I've read it.
Yeah.
And so I am going back and reading it, and the comic is a lot faster paced. You're getting through a lot more story a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Even though it's still 60 issues or whatever, but in that first, like, realistically, we're at like issue 2 at the moment, and we're 4 episodes in. So they're going slow.
I find that really odd. Yeah.
They're going real slow, and they'll kind of chip away at it, and they've got to do it as a TV show. It's not a comic, so I get it. But you want to also make sure that, those big beats from the comics, I want to see in the show.
Yeah, me too. Yep. I feel like, because I'm 2 episodes in, and the second episode dragged for me a bit. Yeah. And I need those big moments, because I'm not getting them yet. There was the scene where he goes into the water, and you felt that, like he goes in looking for ampersand in the water
you tunnel. Felt the disease of that water.
Yeah, you felt it. But apart from that, probably the only other big moment is, and sorry, spoilers if you haven't watched it yet, but it's a 20-year-old comic, so whatever.
Yeah. All the men die.
Yeah, all the men die. The moment where his sister kills the guy she's sleeping with and just at the moment that the
Yeah.
the disease hits.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, that was such a good scene.
Yeah. She thought she was going down.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden everyone's dead. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
No, look, I get all your criticisms there. Like it's like I said, a lot of it is me going like, I can't believe I'm getting to watch this show that I always kind of wanted to see. And I'm glad that they're being, you know, of the characters we've seen so far, like 355 and Yorick and stuff, they're definitely the comic versions of those characters.
Yeah.
They haven't changed a lot up. But I just hope that, yeah, like you said, it picks up the pace a little bit and has those kind of big moments. And don't, you know, sometimes these shows these days that you got to keep up especially with these days where we live in 10 episode seasons, you know, it's not like back in the day when
you can be cancelled tomorrow. There's 1,000 shows at the moment. So
1,000 shows, but back in the day, you know, when you had a 22 episode season, you could have plenty of slow episodes.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and you could have an off episode where it's not kind of moving a lot of things along.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you got 10 episodes, man. You got to make the most of every.
It's sort of like that UK model, like how they do it. Like a lot of the shows in the UK have 8 episodes, but they're all 8 great episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the Idris Elba show, Luther, like that's like an 8 episode or 6 episode season. It's insane. Every episode is gold.
Yeah. That's like the greatest show of all time, man. Spaced. 6 episodes a season, 2 seasons, done.
It's funny that that's the greatest show of all time.
Such a good show.
Sure, whatever.
Such a good show.
Back to Why the Last Man for a second. And you've read the comics more recently than me. It's been a while since I've read them, but I don't actually remember anything about any trans people in the comics.
No, so they mention it like once, maybe once or twice, and it's really off the cuff. Like they don't really deep dive on it at all. And look, you know, it's interesting to say that, right? Because I think a lot of people today will be focusing on that because you know it's a lot more under the spotlight now than what it was in 2002. That's
totally it wasn't talked about 20 years ago.
Wasn't talked about, right? So, like I said, he might reference it maybe. I know once, maybe twice in the whole comic, and you know, there's definitely you know, people that are dressed as men in the comics. You know, they fill that role when they go away.
That's right. Yeah.
But the show is definitely you know, focusing on, okay, well, these people were already men beforehand.
Yeah.
And now all the men with Y chromosomes have died, but there's still these men that remain who, you know, are trans, and they're definitely, you know, which is good. They're acknowledging it, and it's
modernized it, and
it's modernized it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Because it's a different, it's a different time now to when the comic was written. But I think that, look, I'm also like, you know, we don't want to get political or anything, but as long as that's not the focus of the show. Yeah. Is what I think. And look,
I still want that original story to be there with all
the original story and the original characters, and definitely have that as a kind of through line through the thing. But I don't know. I guess it changes everything if it's like, no, all the men didn't really die because these people are all men. Like the whole premise of the comic was to show the inequality between women and men because, you know, all the pilots are dead, all the armies are dead, most of the doctors are dead, most of the engineers are dead. So all these kind of, you know, traditional gender roles, it was to highlight all the kind of differences there between, like, okay, if all these men did die, you know, why aren't there more women pilots? You know, why aren't there more women in the army? And it's to kind of highlight that kind of stuff, and definitely bring in the trans and include that. But as long as the kind of original
and that was always the thing about the comic too, is that, you know, the main character is Yorick, who's the guy, but he's the least interesting of the entire world. So, and
he can be a sook sometimes.
Oh yeah, totally. And the guy they've got playing him is perfect.
Yeah. No, 355's the bomb. She's the badass.
That scene where she blows the house up is just great.
Yeah,
that is so good. But here's the thing: I didn't think, and like I said again, you read the comics more recently than me. I didn't think they they sort of revealed the secret organization and her as an agent that early in the comics? Or was that because didn't that come later?
No, they do reference the Culper ring, but
Yeah.
I think that you don't know, apart from the name, that's about it. Yeah, I think that's really the only thing they reference in the comic early on.
Yeah.
And they drop more later about, who she has kind of, what she's done in the past and stuff. But yeah, dude, this is why I'm rereading it, because a lot of it's hazy for me too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go back and reread it.
It's worth
like I said,
it,
I love that comic. It's so good. I'm so glad that they've done it as a show, and so many like of our favorite comics and things like that have become shows now. It's so great to see.
Dude, sometimes it's like
I get caught up watching Doom Patrol and this.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're gonna say. Sometimes it feels like there's too many.
Yeah, exactly.
And
don't get me wrong, I love all this stuff, right? But then it feels like everything now has to be, something else converted to a TV show, and there's definitely a lot of original stuff as well. I'm exaggerating, but it feels like, you put on Netflix now and everything's a remake or an adaptation of something. Look, don't get me wrong, I'm going to watch the heck out of Cowboy Bebop live action.
Oh, me too. And the other one I'm really looking forward to is coming to Amazon, which is Wheel of Time.
Yeah, so I never read those Jordan books, but everyone that the people I play D&D with and stuff said they're really good.
Oh man, they're insane. They're so long. That's the only thing.
Yeah, man, I'm just hanging out for that Amazon Lord of the Rings.
Oh man, oh yes, like so many good stuff. Like,
dude,
it's insane. I tell you, I know you probably haven't watched this, but it's like Supergirl's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
this one is a guilty.
There's no guilty pleasures, man. There's just pleasures.
Have you watched Stargirl?
No, but I've heard good things.
It's actually really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hide my face now.
Is it CW? It's hide your face.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really strong. The first season was really good. I'm sort of a couple episodes in the second season. I'm not as invested. But just seeing some of those old characters reborn to this new Justice Society of America, it's really cool.
Yeah. I think that those characters, they're just classic DC.
Yeah. And that's what I love, that, the old Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And yeah,
and no doubt Jeff Johns is involved in that show because he created Stargirl, and he's just the most classic DC. He loves all those classic characters.
Yeah.
But look, the only thing I don't like with those CW shows, and this was the same with Arrowverse and Flash and all of them, right? That it's just too many episodes for me now. I haven't got time for 22 episode seasons and 5 shows.
Oh man, Lukey.
It's just, I don't know how you manage it, mate. No wonder you can't get to Suicide Squad. You're watching too much CW.
Well, the other thing is I haven't caught up on Flash recently. I don't think I've seen the last episode of Arrow. So yeah, I totally agree. I've given up on trying to catch up. I love Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Constantine keeps me in that, and he's leaving that show. So
see, I think I'm going to go back. See, I didn't even watch Crisis on Infinite Earths. Because they did that crossover between them all.
Big crossover, yeah.
So I might go back and just watch that, and because that sounds really cool.
It's great that they're doing that stuff. It's straight out of the comics. But also it's straight out of the comics, but it's CW'd. And that, for me, it just, I'd love to see this stuff done on HBO Max, where, where they
HBO Max, or even can you imagine, what Marvel did for Infinity War and, an Endgame and all that kind of stuff? That for Crisis on Infinite Earths, man. That big budget.
Yeah.
If Zack Snyder hadn't cocked it up with those bad movies.
Come on now.
I'm baiting you.
You are. Sorry. So let's get something straight. Zack Snyder didn't cock anything up. Joss Whedon cocked it all up.
We haven't even spoken about Justice League. Jeez.
Have you watched
That's how long since we've chatted.
How many times?
How many times? Oh, this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to this. So I've watched it once because I'm a normal human.
I've watched it 4 times. Once in black and white.
4 hours and 10 minutes, and you've watched it 4 times. You're hilarious.
I just love it. It is, oh my God.
It's head and shoulders above the
it is
this 2017.
It really
version.
is. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I highly recommend that if you are a comic aficionado like you are, you should go and watch it in black and white.
Okay.
It is. Because initially I was like, why have they done that? That's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
But it enhances it.
Really?
It really does. It is just, it's beautiful cinema. And that's what it is. The Marvel movies, I love them. I love them all.
Yeah.
But they're movies. And what Justice League is, it's cinema. It is The Godfather.
You are hilarious. Martin Scorsese, he isn't even in his grave yet and he's turning over.
Mate, it is. That's what it is. It really is. It's an actual piece of cinema. It is beautifully shot.
Yeah.
Shot like a cinema movie.
The thing that annoys me, is that that movie could not have been released at 4 hours. There's no way, he goes, oh, this is my original vision. Mate, then your original vision is completely unrealistic because
he's a
no
filmmaker.
studio was going to let him release that.
No.
So you can't go, that was my original vision of what I wanted to make.
But his original vision was of 2 films.
But this was the setup for the second film.
Yeah, they were going to, yeah, that's right. Darkseid is going to come next one.
So, mate, I don't know who you got to write a script that is an hour and a half too long.
Yeah.
Like you either prepped really poorly for your movie or you were just throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks.
But it's a great film. That's the thing.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. It's way too long.
It shows those characters so much better than any other film has.
It's just, look, I love debating this stuff with you.
That movie made Aquaman cool.
The problem with the movie.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not the problem. So the reason the movie looks good is because against that 2017 movie, that movie is terrible.
Yeah.
So anything looks good against that. You take you can take it. Yes, you can take. I'm trying to think of like a really terrible DC movie, and there's been a lot. But
what about Superman?
Superman 4?
Yeah.
Looks amazing against Justice League 2017.
Quest for Peace.
Quest for Peace. The Richard Pryor one, 3 looks better than 2017.
I like that
Justice
movie.
League. Of course you do. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you're right. It is better, but I think it's better because we're comparing it against a rubbish movie, which
I agree with that.
And I really like Whedon, and people rip on Whedon and say, he's lost it. But Whedon is a great filmmaker. And I think he was left to clean up a mess there and not a mess of, a mess of, he's left with all these pieces and he's left with 3 hours of movie that he's trying to cut into 2. And then they're saying also make it funnier. So you got to reshoot half of it.
Yeah.
And it's
It's probably more studio notes that wrecked it.
It's studio notes. It's him coming in halfway through and not.
He's a great filmmaker. He's a terrible person, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, look, watching the movie, I think the main thing for me was like, I just wish we got to the second one because I was all about bring on Darkseid, and this movie had more Darkseid, definitely, which is great.
Yeah, and a decent villain. Steppenwolf was decent.
Way better. But you don't get the proper Darkseid fight.
No.
And now, because it didn't, the whole first movie,
and we're
failed,
not even going to
we don't get to that.
We're not even going to get it in New Gods because that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
They were doing a New Gods movie, and then that got kiboshed.
Yeah, well, look, it's all. I guess I think DC need to figure out what they want to do.
Mm.
Do you reckon they'll reset, reboot?
I hope not, because I think Henry Cavill is amazing as Superman.
Yeah,
I think he's really good. I think he needs a decent, a more Superman movie.
Yeah.
Which I think he would be amazing in. I think Ben Affleck, after watching that Justice League film, was insane as Batman. He was so good.
Yeah.
And I think
I always
Gal
agree
Gadot
with
is
Ben
the
Affleck.
best Wonder Woman. She's amazing.
Yeah, but I think
Jury's out
if you
on Flash.
take those characters, you take those actors and you put them in someone else's Justice League or their solo films, man, they could be so good.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't great, but it was good.
Yeah, look, definitely those two movies are. Look, even Aquaman, as much as I don't think you liked it.
No, I loved it.
But I didn't have a bad time in Aquaman. Like
I loved it. I thought it was like
corny
as the Stone.
But yeah, it was
like it just felt
super
so
corn.
good. Yeah,
but I actually kind of enjoyed it. I think
me, I love everything.
Yeah, but that's good. That's I think that that's a good way to be, right?
Yeah,
is to go in wanting to like it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think look, the Flash movie when that comes out, that'll be interesting. Seeing Michael Keaton as Batman again, that'll be insane.
And see, this is where that kind of thing is, and I hope there's some grand tinfoil hat on here. I hope there's some grand DC plan of like, cool, we use Flashpoint to change everything, and there's alternate realities, and we bring in Michael Keaton as Batman, and then like in the comics, you use it to do a new 52 of the movies. Yeah. And so you do a reset, and cool, now we get to go off and do all these new stories. We ignore the Snyderverse and we reset, and new filmmakers get to do whatever they want to do with those characters. And you do exactly like they did with the comics, but with the movies.
I find it so funny too that like both Marvel and DC are working on multiverse movies at the moment. Like it just seems, it's
always the way, but right, like
it seems like the comics, like it,
Yeah. Even the comics, there was a few years there where like they had the same events. Like something would happen and all the heroes were fighting Marvel, and then something would happen and all the heroes were fighting DC, and then the next year it'd be like Alien Invasion, and it'd be Alien Invasion. It's like they were all in sync for a while there.
Yeah, so good.
But yeah, dude, that just because you mentioned it there, that Spider-Man trailer.
Oh yeah. When Doc Ock comes out, it's like, oh wow, that is. I knew it was going to happen, but it's still.
Yeah.
And what's with Doctor Strange in his PJs? Like
No, you want more. You need more Strange in his PJs. Like,
have you seen Shang-Chi?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh man, I need to go see that too. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll be keen. Now
we'll gold class it.
Baby's getting to the age now where I can go out again and go to the movies. So
I'll sneak out. I'll just
go to a 10 p.m. session.
All right. So how long are we talking for now? Ages. Let's I was going to do what are you reading? But we sort of talked about that because you were reading Why the Last Man.
Yeah, pretty much just comics at the moment. I'm reading a few monthly ones and trying to reread Why. And then I'm reading they've done a graphic novel adaptation of Dune, which I'm reading at the moment before the new movie comes out.
Oh man, that movie. Yeah. That is going to be so good.
Can't wait. So I hope it's good. I'm sure it is. I've read some kind of previews and people said it's apparently really good.
I'm not reading anything nerdy at the moment. I'm reading Jack Reacher novels.
Oh yeah.
On my Kindle.
I hear they're really good.
Mate, they're amazing. I thought I never I just picked one up a while ago and I was like, oh, this is actually, it was after the Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I'll give this a go. So for everyone who says, Tom Cruise sucks at Jack Reacher, he's good at getting you into Jack Reacher.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah.
Well, I hear once you get in, there's a lot there. Like
there's so many books.
30 books or something.
Yeah, I'm up to book 14 or something. It's called The Affair. But it's going to be turned into an Amazon series.
Really?
Yeah, and the guy who's going to be playing Jack Reacher, and this is where I bring it back to our nerd culture, is actually from Titans.
Which character is he playing?
He's is it Hawk and Dove?
Oh yeah.
He's Hawk.
Okay.
Yeah. So that guy is going to play Jack Reacher in the comics. And it's a really good choice because he's in the comics. That's in the books. That's one of the big complaints about Tom Cruise playing it is that Jack Reacher is a big dude. He's described as a big,
Muscly
muscular,
guy.
sort of a real army-looking
Yeah.
guy. And Tom Cruise isn't that. Although Tom Cruise did bring screen presence, and he bought bums on seats for those movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that series. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, man. Like Amazon, they just did the Jack Ryan series. I didn't even watch it, but
It's great.
Is it?
Dude, you need to watch that.
Because I love the movies. Good.
And there's even there's another one in that series. Without Remorse is a movie on Amazon.
Okay.
And it's got Michael B. Jordan in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that essentially like in the books, that ties into Jack Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially that could tie into the series of Jack Ryan. So you could have Michael B. Jordan and what's his name? The guy from The Office.
John Krasinski.
Yes. Who should, and let's put it out there, should be in the Fantastic Four. He should be Reed Richards.
It's Reed Richards, you reckon?
Oh, man.
Okay. Hang on, I'm trying to picture it.
They get him as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
They get his wife, Emily Blunt, as the Invisible Woman, Sue Storm.
Okay.
Who's
Johnny?
Good question. Who's Johnny? I don't know. Who's Johnny?
I don't know. The thing you could go. The thing you
can go anyone. It's CG.
Yeah. Well, you do it CG. You have to do it CG, but you need someone with a deep voice. You get
maybe
like Vin Diesel to do like the thing.
Yeah. Maybe the thing should be. Oh man, I had it. I hate that.
It's gone.
Yeah, it was there and now it's gone.
Yeah, I hope we get some news about like Fantastic Four and
we had the
X-Men and all the kind of future Marvel stuff that's coming down the pipe.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, let's get on to this is we'll probably have time for one news story.
Yeah.
This is probably the biggest news story. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct a little while ago, short time ago now, last week. It was pretty rubbish. There wasn't a lot announced. There was probably a new Kirby game that looks good. But man, did you see the trailer for the Kirby game?
No.
It looks like The Last of Us Kirby.
What?
Yeah. It's like he goes to this forgotten world, they call it. And it's like this post-apocalyptic city.
Really?
Yeah, it looks bizarre.
Oh, Kirby, you've changed.
The big news from the thing was the cast was announced for the Mario movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I didn't see the direct, but I did see the announcement on Twitter of who was playing Mario.
And what did you think?
I was like, look, I guess it doesn't seem too crazy to me.
No, I guess not. Like it's animated for a start, so yeah, it's fine. Chris Pratt, he's a good actor. I'm sure he'll be a great voice actor. Is he Italian plumber, Japanese created?
Can you even lean into the Italian plumber stereotype in 2021? I don't think you can.
No, yeah. Which is probably why they went down the Chris Pratt path. Like,
probably, yeah.
He'll just be like a sort of a crazy Chris Pratt voice that'll fit with Mario quite well. No. I think the other casting.
Will he do as good of a job as Bob Hoskins? Probably not.
Probably not. I can see why they wouldn't have gone with Charles Martinet, who's been the voice of Mario in the games since the 90s, because I don't think you could watch a whole movie of "It's a me, a Mario." I think I thought it would get annoying.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I think my favorite bit of casting, and everyone's talking about like Jack Black as Bowser. They're talking about Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
It seems like these, like, I don't know, they're just like the most
Let's get the highest actors.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like people got high and were like, who should be in the Mario movie?
Yeah.
But like, it seems like every second animated movie now is like got to have Seth Rogen in it. And, I don't know, they just seem like very easy picks.
They do, yeah. My favorite one, and I think this is the one that's out of the box a bit, is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia's Charlie Day.
Yeah.
As Luigi.
Okay.
Like, have you seen It's Always Sunny?
I've seen episodes, but I haven't watched it all.
Man, I recently went, I discovered it maybe a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on a massive binge and just watched every episode in a row. It was the biggest binge I've ever been on. It was just...
Because that's like 15 seasons or something.
Oh, yeah. It starts playing tricks on your mind that you think you're living in that city. Like, it is just...
Ordering Philly cheesesteaks at the shop.
Longest running live action series of all time or something. Like, it is...
Yeah, well, the longest running, maybe not live action series, but... live action comedy.
Yeah, right.
Because you got to compete with Law and Order SVU, mate. 23 seasons.
Well, yeah, right. But insane. Like, it's so funny, and it gets funnier and funnier, and it's so great. And he is amazing in it. Like, but his voice is just this little. It's a husky, funny. It's perfect. It's going to be great for Luigi. I think it's a really good.
So this movie, like, is Nintendo making it?
It's been made by Illumination Entertainment. Now, they're the ones that did Despicable Me.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun.
So they're getting a reputable kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Not trying.
Yeah, it's not made by Filmation. You're not getting old He-Man episodes. It's it's a proper, kids entertainment, kids and adult entertainment, I guess, because it's those movies anyone can watch. Those Despicable Me movies and the Minions movies and things like that. They're fantastic. So
and they just print money, right? Like,
I
think
not
every
wrong.
time I see there's a new one every like 12 months. It's crazy.
Yeah. So you wait till your kids ready to watch movies.
Mate, all we watch at the moment is Bluey. We have a strict only Bluey rule.
Bluey is fantastic.
And she's only 8 months. It's definitely me watching it.
Yeah. Man, has Bluey made you cry yet?
Dude, it's so good. I haven't cried yet, but I think I've nearly cried laughing.
There's an episode.
Just some great ones.
There's an episode, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, but a little bird dies in it. And it's teaching Bluey that, they get this bird and they take it to the vet and they want to make the vet to make it better, and it dies, and Bluey gets all sad. And then they reenact it with Bingo, and Bingo plays the part of the bird. And at the end, you think, oh, yeah, it's fine. Bluey's going to, they're going to get to it, and the Bingo's going to go to the vet and pretend vet, and then the bird's going to live. And that's how and it'll all live happy ever after. But then Bluey says, no, that's not how it happened. And then has to make Bingo pretend to die so that they can reenact it the way it really did. And my God, by the end of that episode, I am just bawling like... And it is just like, ooh.
I haven't got to that one, but there's a lot of those episodes, so I'm slowly working my way through. Yeah, I'll skip the bird death scene.
We watch nothing but Frozen.
Oh,
yeah. My girl's 3 now, so she just loves Elsa and Anna.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I'm still in that novelty period where I'm like, essentially just putting on anything that's bright and shiny to kind of distract her, but everything's the first time at the moment, right? I'm sure it'll get to the point where it's the 58th time watching Frozen this week that I'll be like, I better know. To be fair, like I'd go with Elsa, but I'd be thinking of Anna. I had one other news thing I wanted to talk about, which you probably saw. What did you think of the screenshot of The Last of Us that they got posted, I think, yesterday or the day before? Yes, you're right. Actually, there's one more thing after this as well, but yes. HBO Last of Us show. This has like every recipe
but not even
success
that.
Of awesome.
Not even that. They've got the Mandalorian in it.
And he looked legit too. He looks like proper.
Looks exactly
like that.
Like
Looked
him.
like Joel.
Yep. In fact, when I first saw that screenshot, I was like, they've just shown a screenshot of the game.
I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And because he was doing like, it was like a celebratory post, and I was like, oh yeah, pick from Last of Us 1 or 2. Nope.
And it was funny too, because it came at a time when I'd totally forgotten they were even doing it. Like it just slipped my mind completely. I thought,
this is the thing. What we're saying before, right? There's just so many announcements of comic book movies and video game movies and shows now that it's like you lose track.
Yeah.
But dude,
mate,
God, I hope that show's great. I'm sure it is.
You shared something with me today, and we were talking about the CW before and how things get CW'd. They're remaking Babylon 5 at the CW.
Yeah, Bab 5.
At the CW.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, it seems like the most un-CW show ever. You're
right. It does. And I hope that they don't CW it.
I don't think they will. I saw that JMS, J. Michael Straczynski, I think was the original creator. He's coming back and writing it. And
this is the thing, when he originally wrote that show, and you've seen the original show, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he originally wrote that, he wrote it all of it. He had it all planned out. There was no moments where, we better take the story this way or that way. No, the whole thing was planned out completely. And I just can't see that happening at the CW.
No. Look, I guess, he might have an overarching kind of plan for the new one, but, like everything nowadays, right? It won't be like, I want to do 5 seasons, it's it. If it's making money, they'll be like, no, you're doing more seasons. But, I just hope it's not like a teen drama on a space station.
Oh man, I will smash my television.
Yeah, but if it's proper, like good sci-fi, like Bab 5 was, but just with modern,
probably the closest thing to it these days is, I don't know if you've seen it, The Expanse.
So I've read the books, and not all the books. I've read the first 4 or 5 books, and I've been waiting for the show to kind of come closer to the end so I can go and just binge it all and just watch it.
So funny thing about that show, it started on what channel did it start on?
I think it started on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, and then
moved over to Amazon. Yeah,
and then the owner of Amazon, the creator of Amazon, liked it, so Amazon said, "We'll make that show for you."
Yeah. That's the thing, when you've got $90 billion, you can literally go and make a TV show that you're into.
And then the cast and that must be just like so chuffed. They'd be like, we've got no chance of being axed ever again.
Yeah. It's, money doesn't buy you happiness, but it can buy you like the things that you want. Hey, would you like to make a Lord of the Rings TV show? Yeah, cool. Sure, how much is that going to cost? 400 million. Yeah, no worries.
Okay. So that's probably the closest thing I've seen in recent years to Babylon 5. But I just love Babylon. I think it's probably one of the great. I think I like it more than Star Trek. Like it is.
Big call.
Is probably one of the greatest science fiction shows ever made.
Oh, it's it's fantastic. I think Star Trek is very because there's a Star Trek show for everyone, right? It depends on what you're into.
Well, and they're probably
Bab 5 and Deep Space Nine were very similar.
Because Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek series. Yeah. So that probably makes a lot of sense there. Yeah.
And Bab 5 is a lot more like realistic, right? Like, of all the dodgy stuff going on the space station.
Yeah.
And,
but also the
corruption
ships,
and
the ships were so cool. Like that was so cool.
Have you watched those CGI scenes lately?
No, I haven't.
Rough.
Really?
Rough. Look, I think it was mid-90s when that show came out. Yeah. And that was cutting edge CGI when for TV anyway. I'm sure the movie stuff was a bit high quality. But now, you watch something like The Expanse, it's like a lot better.
Yeah, it is a lot better. But it just doesn't have that same, I don't know.
Maybe the new one will. Maybe it'll just be an updated version.
It better be. CW, if you're watching this.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Make it happen.
Mr. CW, the owner.
Leave it alone. But make it happen.
Don't teen drama.
Don't teen drama it. Do not Vampire Diaries this stuff.
You're gonna, man. What's his name? The guy with the face.
The guy with the face.
That alien race with the dots on their face. Anyway, I've sit here and try and think for ages. All the names of that show, of people in that show, have left me a long time ago.
Yeah. I was trying to remember some before. There was that really secretive race.
Yeah, the yeah, and they didn't reveal like what they were up to until like season 2 or 3 or something.
Yeah,
and they were always down in the belly of the space station. Anyway. I'm gonna have to go and rewatch all this Bad 5 stuff now.
Man, I'm gonna. Oh man, and do you remember Garibaldi?
Garibaldi,
the head of security. Oh man, the Centauri. Yeah,
Centauri was the race.
Yeah. There we go. Man, I'm gonna go. I've got them all. I've got them all on DVD.
I just
I think they're about to get released on something.
I think it's on Amazon.
Amazon, maybe, yeah.
I think it's on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't. No, I think I found something else on Amazon the other day. Oh, there's some really cool old like sci-fi shows on Amazon.
Yeah, they've got Farscape's on there.
Farscape. Yeah. They've got Andromeda, like all these kind of like just cool sci-fi shows at the time.
Yeah, I started watching Farscape again on there, and it's so good.
Yeah, man, classic.
Yeah,
all filmed in Australia.
Yeah. So good.
I was on VR the other night. And you can go to certain environments on Steam VR.
Yeah.
And one popped up and was like a T-Rex, and I went there and oh yeah, cool, T-Rex. And then I was like, oh, Farscape, and it was the bridge of Moira, so you could wander around the bridge.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. No. So good.
Oh man, all right. We got to go. This is it. I'm gonna go set up my VR. Oh my god, you can walk around on the bridge of Moira?
Yeah, it's not great quality. It's someone's made it, but it's fine. It's pretty cool.
That is so good. I love VR. Back to VR again. Been awesome catching up with you again, man.
Man, so good. Let's not have it be 18 months before the next one.
We'll try to whip these out as often as possible. If you like it, subscribe. That means that we know that you're liking it, and then we will put them out more often. So do that, and of course head to dokidarko.com for all your information.